Hi, my name is Cyrina Bullard and I'm a speaker here tonight at Angel Talks. I was very fortunate to be asked by Liz and Bernie to participate in Angel Talks. This is something that they're reinventing in this arena because they want to be able to help parents facilitate their children to deal with different challenges that they're experiencing, and I'm here to speak about resilience and happiness. The advice that I would like for everyone to take away from this is that it's important to try to be in the moment and to be happy in our moments, because you never know what tomorrow holds. The past is history, the future's a mystery, but the moment is a present. Stress and high school at times can be synonymous. Those high school years when your hormones are in flux and they are changing on a daily, if not hourly basis, the insecurities that are flooding through your system, and the common desire to feel like you belong. When I was in high school, I was in 4-H and I also raised pigs. This was a great formula for torture. I, unfortunately, was named Cyrina, aka the Pig Lady. Thankfully, when I left and to go home, I didn't have to take the title of the Pig Lady home with me. I can only imagine in today's world, with how pervasive social media is, there's always something there that could potentially be a stressor, and it's only just one click away. Life, at times, can be very challenging. When you're in high school, you always have homework. You have sports or band practice, activities, trying to fit in, and also chores at home and activities. This can be stressful. How can we shine through this stress and bring our best selves forward? I would now like to share with you guys a video from HeartMath. And when I do this, I would like for you all to just pay attention to how you're feeling when you watch the video, okay? Okay, so with that video, did anyone notice what the caption said at the end of the video?
You see the world how you feel.
Yeah, exactly. You see the world through how you feel. And it's so fascinating to me because many of us at times have this negative soundtrack playing in our minds. And I would like to ask you, by a show of hands, who here experienced a feeling of chaos or anxiety during the first taxi cab ride? Okay, that would be all of us. And how about the second taxi cab ride? Did you feel a shift in your perceptions or feelings? Okay, all right, we all did. The one thing about this is that when you're watching these videos, it makes you realize that your feelings can be shifted by just your emotions. Would anyone like to share with us what they experienced during this video or how you felt after watching it?
It made me feel very anxious when in the first part of the video, and then when the classical music kicked in, I just felt like I could relax.
A calm. Yeah, I find that video fascinating because it's very thought-provoking, and it makes you think, what soundtrack are we all playing in our minds? And how are these soundtracks affecting our perceptions, our stress, as well as our different emotions? When I was in high school, I used to think that I was the only one that had the constant insecurity soundtrack running in my mind. It was interesting because it wasn't until I was in my late 20s that I got the memo that everyone has insecurities. It does not matter how pretty or handsome, intelligent or smart you are. It really, or how athletic, it does not matter. What matters is the fact that we all have insecurities. What I would like to encourage is for us to step back and stop being our worst critics and definitely challenge other people to be nice to themselves as well. Because we can shift our soundtrack and create a more empowering personal soundtrack to help us be able to walk through this path a little bit easier, this path called life. I would like to help you tonight by putting some tools in your toolbox. And I'm going to teach you two different things. One that can help you deal with the stress that we have in our daily life. And the other one will help you hopefully catch more happiness. As a pharmacist, I would like to encourage a daily dose of happiness. DOSE is an acronym. The D stands for dopamine, O for oxytocin, S for serotonin, and E for endorphins. These are the chemicals that are produced when we're happy, which have positive physiological effects. I'm very thankful that we do have medications to help people, but my heart was heavy when I was dispensing anti-anxiety meds to 15, 16-year-olds, because unfortunately life is not going to get easier. I will say, definitely there are people who need to have their antidepressants and their anti-anxiety medications, and thank God they're there for them. But this gave me the impetus to go and look for something that could potentially help with anxiety that wasn't drug related. And I just became associated with a company called HeartMath, and they have over 25 years of empirical data backing their tools and techniques. And this is a chart that will show you some of the benefits that you'll see with HeartMath. And as you can see, there were over 11,500 people who participated in this, and they used the tools and technology from HeartMath for 6 to 8 weeks. And basically what they saw were very beneficial effects. They were able to increase their ability to be able to sleep, to be more calm, and to also, feel more focused. And then they decreased the ability for their anxiety. They also decreased their depression and their fatigue. So this data was very exciting. And what I'd like to share with you is another graph from HeartMath. What's interesting is that this graph will show you that how emotions can affect our heart rhythm patterns. And what they have found through HeartMath is about the intelligence of the heart. It is so fascinating because we now know that there are more signals that go from the heart to the brain than vice versa, and also that our emotions are energy in motion, and people can feel that energy. In this chart that I want to share with you now, I want you to know that the data was collected from the same person, just at 2 different times. And as you can see at the top of the top chart with the red there, it shows an incoherent heart rate rhythm, where it's kind of jagged. And this person at the time when they took this was experiencing a feeling of frustration. And when we're in an incoherent state, it causes an inhibition of our brain activity. And the definition of coherence from the company HeartMath is when your heart, mind, emotions, and physical systems are all aligned and in sync. And in the bottom graph, as you can see, the blue graph, it's kind of in a sine rhythm. It's when the person was in a more coherent state. And the only difference was he had an emotion of appreciation. So this can show you when you have positive emotions, it can help you be in a more coherent state and have more brain facilitation of brain activity. And what's interesting, when we're in a coherent state, we have more prefrontal cortex axis. And this is also known as our executive functioning axis. Are you guys familiar with this area of the brain? Okay. Well, what it is so it's interesting to know that when we're younger than 25 years young, our prefrontal cortex is not completely developed. And what that means is that the youth as well as young adults do not have full executive ability to make decisions. But what I would like to tell you is that I know plenty of 15-year-olds who have much better decision-making properties than some 40, 50, or 60-year-olds that I know. So it's all very relative. And when we're in an incoherent state, we can sometimes feel like a herd of cats, just being all over the place, expelling energy where we don't need to expel energy. And then, you know, we're wasting our energy with being a herd of cats. But there are times when we're in a state of coherence where we will feel like a school of fish. We're able to be in sync and decrease the amount of energy that we're expelling at times. And so this is a place that we really want to be in. So how can we be in this state of coherence? Unfortunately, it's not something that can just happen. We have to be proactive with this. You know, as much as I would like to say I could just walk into the gym and have the abs that I want to have when I leave the gym, that's not possible. We have to put in the work and the effort. So what I would encourage you guys to do is to set a trigger to remind you to do these activities. You don't have to go anywhere to do them, but you have to be able to implement them in your life. And what you could do is maybe say when you get out of bed, you're going to do it. Or even when you're sitting in traffic, instead of getting frustrated, use that time to your advantage and allow yourself to use these tools to become more coherent and less frustrated with being in traffic. I'm now going to walk you all through one of HeartMath's tools, and it's called the Put Coherence. And what I want to do is ask you all to please pay attention to how you're feeling before we start this, okay? And because this is new for you, I would encourage you all to put your hand on your heart because it makes it a little bit easier to focus on the area of the heart. And if you would like to close your eyes, please feel free to close your eyes to relax, okay? And this tool has 2 different steps to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk us all through it, but I'm going to start doing the first one with you, and then I will tell you the second step. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to focus our attention on the area of the heart. Imagine that our breath is flowing in and out of our heart or chest area. Breathing a little bit slower and deeper than usual. They suggest in for 5 seconds and out for 5 seconds, or whatever rhythm is comfortable for you. So we're going to do that for a few times. Okay, so you guys continue to do your heart focused breathing, and the second step to this is to make an attempt, a sincere attempt to experience a regenerative feeling, such as appreciation or care for someone or something in your life. Maybe a feeling for somebody that you love, a pet or a person, and allow yourself to actually have the feeling while you're doing these breaths. Okay, we did just a little bit over 1 minute for that tool. Would anybody like to share with us how that made them feel? Anyone?
Definitely just more relaxed, I feel. Just a little bit more at ease.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, because when we feel more relaxed, it makes it easier to ride through life. And you know, what's another key thing is that when we're more relaxed and less stressed, it is easier to be happy, to choose happiness for the day. And when we're happy, we're more productive, creative, and have better physical and mental health. It's interesting because there are multiple things that they've now done studies about that can help facilitate more happiness in our lives. And the one tool that I want to talk about today for helping create more happiness is the ability to have gratitude in our lives. A lot of studies look at gratitude journals and how just being able to take inventory of the positive things that are happening in your day and be able to have gratitude for them and write them down can help you become more happy. I would like to encourage you all to go out and buy a journal for everybody in your family. What's great is I want to share with you, I was at the dollar store and I was able to find this journal which made me smile because it says choose happy. So it was only $1, so it's pretty easy to go out and buy a journal for everybody in your family. And maybe what you could do is take time together and decide how you are going to implement your gratitude for your day. Maybe at dinner you all can have like a time to verbally express one thing that you have gratitude for in your day. And then after dinner, before you clean up, allow just 5 to 10 minutes and to write into your journal things that you have gratitude for, at least 3 things, if not more. And this is your information that you don't have to share with anyone. If you want to, you can. But what's nice is that you can be creative. You don't have to have big, huge things. You can have gratitude for maybe a laugh that you had with a friend, a good cup of coffee, a hug that you got from your kid, or a great conversation you had with your spouse. It happened to be a beautiful day as well. It doesn't have to be gigantic things, but we need to be able to look for the positive in our lives, because unfortunately there's a lot of negative out there. And I will now like to share with you a personal story. About 8 years ago, I was in a bicycle accident, and I was flight for life from Vail to Denver Health. I was in a coma for 18 days, and then I was transferred to Craig Hospital. And to be a patient at Craig Hospital, you would have to have at least one of 2 criteria. You either have to have a traumatic brain injury or a spinal cord injury. And I was victorious because I had both of these injuries. This time in my life gave me so much gratitude, because when this injury happened, I wasn't able to walk, I wasn't able to talk, nor was I even able to feed myself. And these are things that many of us take for granted, but these are gifts, and we should have gratitude for these gifts, because this will help us travel through challenging times in our lives. I know this week at East High School you guys had a tragedy, and my heart goes out to all of you. I'm very sorry for that. But please know that there will be challenging times in life, and you'll have challenging things to deal with, but know that this will pass, and you will get through this. I would like to share with you a quote from Ennio Morricone. The quote says, "Love yourself like your life depends on it, because it does." I would now like to encourage you all to try to figure out what will work with your family to cultivate an environment in your home that will be filled with more happiness, more laughter, more good times, and kindness, because we need to create a positive ripple, because this energy will roll out past your family, and people will feel this, because there's a lot of negative out there, and we need to create more positive ripples in our world and help people catch and spread more happiness.